The fourth issue is with regards to perfumes. Now, firstly, we need to understand that even in this regard, there are many people who go to extremes in what they regard as being prohibited in the state of ihram. With regards to perfume, there are things which are intended as perfume, and there are other things which are not intended as perfume, but they are scented nonetheless. And examples of these type of items would be lotions and creams and soaps and shampoos, or hand creams, face creams, those sorts of things. Now, most of these items, like creams, soaps, shampoos, or lotions, they have a scent. They have a scent, but they are not scented. They are not intended as perfumes. They are intended, as moisturizing creams, or as used for lathering for the hair while you're taking a shower. Soap is used for, washing off any of the dirt off your body while you're taking a shower. So it's not something which is intended as a perfume. And therefore, in my humble opinion, these items are not prohibited while in the state of ihram. In fact, the maximum that we can say, if they are slightly more scented, extra scented, or extra perfumed, even in this case, I would say it would be makruh. But the regular soaps and the regular lotions and the regular creams, inshallah, there is absolutely nothing wrong with using this while in a state of ihram. The only thing that would be prohibited in a state of ihram are, things like, a spray, a perfume spray, or a itar, the oils that we use, and so on, or a UD cologne, and so on. These type of things would be considered as a perfume, which is prohibited in the state of ihram. Now, moving on, what happens when you put the perfume on? Now, firstly, if you put a perfume on accidentally and unintentionally, now it could be that you put some perfume on your body, right? Now, what would be required in this case is, as soon as you've realized, either somebody else has reminded you that you've put on a perfume, or you've realized yourself. In that scenario, all you would do is you would go and wash up. You would wash away that from your body, and you would put on your ihram again. If you have accidentally, put some on your clothes, then you would wash your ihram garments, and you would put the ihram garments back on again. Or if you have, substitute garments, then you would replace that with those substitute garments. Is it permissible to have a bath while you're in the state of ihram? Absolutely. In fact, there is a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, in fact, of the Sahaba, who were confused about this issue. Is it allowed to take a bath while you're in the state of ihram? And many of the Sahaba, they went and they came across Abu Ayyub al-Ansari radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, who was taking a bath while in the state of ihram. And he mentioned to them that, I saw the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, taking a bath while in the state of ihram. And he said he narrates that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam did in fact have a bath while in the state of ihram. So inshallah, there is nothing wrong with taking a bath while in the state of ihram. What happens when a person has put on perfume intentionally? Now, once again, like the other scenarios of cutting nails and so on, the other prohibited acts, this has two possibilities. Number one, you put on some perfume for a legitimate reason. Now, what kind of legitimate reason would be a legitimate reason? Now, in the state of ihram, you could say that, in a room full of a dozen men, the situation, sometimes it will become, so difficult that the stench, the body stench will become very strong, and it will be, in some cases unbearable as well. In these kinds of scenarios, for the maslahah and for an overwhelming need over here. There is nothing wrong with you putting on some perfume just to make the stink a little bit more bearable, and to be able to function and to do your ibadah really, really well. And when you put on this perfume, of course, you have a legitimate reason, but you will have to, and you will be required to give the fidya, or the expiation, or the penalty for going against or for engaging in this prohibited act. And of course, a person who does this without a legitimate excuse, then they have to give also a penalty, but they will be sinful in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.